Kauai's median home price just jumped 27% in a single month. Sounds like the market's on fire, right? Not so fast. Stick around because the real story in the numbers is a lot more interesting than that headline. I'll tell you exactly what it means whether you're buying, selling, or investing. Aloha! I'm Agent Kat Kauai, and every month I pull the official MLS numbers straight from Hawaii Information Service so you get the real picture of what's happening here on the Garden Isle. Not just the headlines. Today, we're breaking down the July 2026 numbers, island-wide sales, prices by property type, and which districts are quietly outperforming everyone else. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or just want to know what your Kauai property is worth right now, this is the update you need. So let's start island-wide. In July 2026, we saw 59 closed sales, almost identical to the 60 we had in July 2025, down just under 2%. But zoom out year to date and the story shifts. From January through July, we're at 397 sales this year compared to 471 last year, a drop of nearly 16%. Fewer buyers are closing deals in 2026 than they were in 2025. So sales volume tells a similar story. July brought in $91.3 million, down almost 9% from last July's $100 million. Year to date, volume sits at $639.4 million. That's down over 10% from the $714.7 million we saw through July of last year. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The island-wide median price in July hit $5.26 million. That's up 27.6% from July 2025. But year to date, the median is actually down almost 11%. Sitting at $4.08 million. So don't let 1 month's median fool you. With Kauai's low sales volume, a handful of ultra luxury closings can swing that median hard in either direction. The year-to-date trend is the number that actually tells you where the market is heading. And right now, it's cooling on price while a few high-end sales grab the headlines. If you're a buyer, what does this mean for you? Fewer closings island-wide and a softer year-to-date median gives you more room to negotiate than you had last year. Don't let a single high-end month scare you off. Look at the year-to-date trend, not just the headline number. If you're a seller or investor, what this means for you is this is not a market where you can price off of last year's comps and expect a bidding war. Fewer buyers are closing, so pricing accurately from day one matters more than ever. For investors, a softer year-to-date volume can also mean less competition for well-priced acquisitions. So now, residential land and condos, let's break it down by property type across the whole island. Residential homes actually posted 35 sales in July, up slightly from 34 last year, but year to date, we're down almost 10% at 210 sales versus last year's 233. So residential median price year to date is up nearly 11%, now at $1.3 million. Vacant land is where the slowdown is the sharpest. Just 3 land sales in July. That's down 40%. And year to date, sales are down almost 34%. Land volume year to date has fallen over 37%. If you've been sitting on land, buyer demand has genuinely thinned out this year. Condos. So condos held steady in July with 19 sales. That's flat compared to last year, but year-to-date sales are down nearly 19%, and the median condo price has slipped almost 11% in July alone. It's now at $845,000. That's good news if you've been priced out of the condo market and are looking to get in. If you're a buyer, what does this mean for you? Condos are your most affordable entry point right now, with prices pulling back close to 11%. Land buyers have even more negotiating room since demand there has cooled the most of any property type. If you're a seller or investor, what this means for you is residential owners are still building equity, with median prices up double digits year to date. So this is a good time to get an updated valuation. Land and condo sellers need to be realistic on pricing since buyers have more leverage in these categories. Now let's talk districts, because the island-wide numbers hide some big local stories. Waimea had a breakout July. Residential sales jumped from just 1 to 5. That's a 400% increase, and residential volume shot up over 400% too. So if you've been watching Westside Inventory, buyers are clearly paying attention. Congratulations to my clients. We were one of those 5. Koloa is showing serious price strength. Residential median price jumped over 75% in July to 3.1 million, and condo sales doubled with volume up nearly 184%. Poipu and Koloa continue to pull premium buyers. Lihue cooled off. Residential sales dropped 37.5% in July, and volume fell nearly 55%. If you're house hunting in Lihue, you may be finding more room to negotiate right now. Kawaihau, covering Kapa'a and Wailua, had a strong month. Residential sales rose 50%, and volume was up almost 71%. One of the more consistent performers this year. Hanalei, our luxury North Shore market, saw residential sales dip 25% in July, with volume down over 30% and 0 vacant land sales this month. High-end North Shore buyers are being more selective, but year to date, Hanalei's residential volume is actually up nearly 36%. So the big picture there still favors sellers. If you're a buyer, what does this mean for you? Lihue is where you'll find the most negotiating power right now. Waimea and Koloa are heating up fast, so if you've had your eye on either, moving sooner rather than later matters. Hanalei's monthly dip is a chance to negotiate on individual listings, even though the underlying luxury demand is still strong. If you're a seller or investor, what does this mean for you? Waimea and Koloa sellers are in a strong position to list right now while demand is high. Kawaihau's steady growth makes it a reliable spot for both listing and long-term investment. Hanalei sellers shouldn't be discouraged by one slower month. Year-to-date demand for North Shore luxury is still up sharply. So, what's the takeaway from July's numbers? Island-wide sales volume is down. Land is slowing the most. Condos are getting more affordable, and pockets like Waimea, Koloa, and Kawaihau are quietly outperforming the rest of the island. Buyers, you have more negotiating room than you've had in a while, especially in Lihue land and condos. Sellers and investors, pricing accurately and moving on strong pockets like Waimea and Koloa is what's working right now. If this helped, hit subscribe so you don't miss next month's update. Drop a comment with the district you'd like me to dig more into next. And if you're ready to talk about buying or selling on Kauai, call or text me at 808-698-6912. Let's talk story about what your next move is on the Garden Island. Aloha.